minutes ago. Deathmark goes out. Loben onto Dan. The opening kill though for Joystick, but Dots and Dash find two at the exact same moment, and within the span of about 5 seconds, we lose quite a lot of players within the server, and it's all going the way of W7M on the attack. VP's defense just gets absolutely shredded, and the only one left is always on. That Clash tries to go for the little 180 flick. But a great start for W7M. But over towards the back of Arsenal, he's going to get the block, of course, with the keeper barrier. That's where the Montang can be quite strong. Volts needs to be aggressive here on the Montang.
Behind him, though, the pinch is coming through. It's going to be pressure over the shoulder. There's Dash and Volps, able to break their way into the site itself, but he's quickly traded out by Joystick, and Pasha kills himself in the chaos. Disaster has struck, so now Always and Joystick have to try and bite their way through to the planter, but the cover is so good. W7M once again encircle and surround Virtus Pro, and they opted only the one Nitrocell on Joystick. That's going to be a big factor. One of the ROUs has gone up right now. Here's the push in towards Garage, but up close and without realizing it was Always. Does go for the run out though, looking to compound more onto that kill. Ended up losing his life anyway. In towards the site, Vops will go down. VP have actually been able to do a decent job in finding these kills at the moment where W7M wanted to attack into the site. VP pounced. They actually got moving at the right time, and Loben's by himself. He's not really going to have much of an opportunity to close this one out. And over towards Cash and CCTV, Virtus Pro are going to find their first round. They were very close to getting the plant secured as well. They had the coverage of, as you said, the ROU. They had the smokes popped off. They were drawing attention elsewhere. There was the coverage on the run out the door, but it was just one VP player paying keen enough attention to be able to remove the player, stop the plant, put the kid in, and suddenly you have to sort of make the decision. Do we pull back, try and reevaluate the take, or do we full send it? It's sunk cost fallacy, and unfortunately the only thing that was sunk was W7M's round. 48 seconds. So, I mean, it's not impossible, but Loben would need a fair few gifts here from Virtus Pro, and it doesn't feel like they're in a very, let's say, charitable mood with their lives. They're happy to let this one play out, and we find ourselves 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, you got 2 kills, but we still got a checklist to go through, get the fundamentals down pat. They do that. Shepard knows he has to get aggressive now towards CCTV. Does swing, gets one. Had he got that kill out onto the balcony exterior of Con, it would have made it a 2 versus 2. Pasha caught, top lodge hatch. That is a wonderful one-tap headshot from Pasha. Changes the complexion of this round now with 40 seconds left from what looked like a potential comfortable round for W7M. It has completely fallen apart. Shepard and Pasha on the site have been able to manage this round perfectly. 30 seconds left, and Dash brings it back to a 1 versus 1 as Shepard lies waiting Con and makes the push into Logistic. Dash has to stick to plant, and Shepard will have to play off of this noise.
Rotating his way around towards the fire, but it's going to get stuck, so he might just move into it. Pre-fires Jim, thinking he's on the other side, and the flashes will come out. The power has now entirely flipped into Dash's side, but he's stuck in the middle of the fight, and the pings are on their side. Pulls himself back round. He knows he needs to be a bit aggressive here. He needs to force and hope that his first tracer is the one that makes the connection as Shepard goes in deep, gets the drop. Unbelievable play and hold on to there for the 2 VP players that really stuck it out. I said they had some options of delay, and we saw them work as best as they can. Goyo.
A lot of prep done towards the site. They've already found themselves 2 players down. It's going to take something quite miraculous.
Oh, a team kill.
And the team kill's not going to help. Nice kill on to Dan, but Loben got more than he bargained for. Kit down over towards Generator. Dash now with a slow push through dirt. Not a lot of time remaining. Maybe good for 1 here, and it's a bit of a stat pad ending for W7M because they're not really going to be able to win this round. Shepard and Always are the ones stat padding at the end with the double kill to close it out, and a well-worked
player that wants to get themselves set up as the cover, the wall behind the attempt at the plant with Dots, who can just sort of turn around and turtle. Now there is some pressure underneath them as well. Loben, as the buck, might try and cut them off if they go for the cutoff, but as the juggle of utilities starts here, the first smoke will force the players further around. Now they do have a fair bit to work with here, but obviously there's always still the danger of that C4. If Shepard can get that connection, they drop the shield, well, then that's the kit isolated as it was before. And, well, there's the next smoke thrown out. They'd already moved off, but there is the cover of the Blackbeard. We said the power of the player, and still have 1 more smoke, 30 seconds, a C4 in a single moment could be the meaning that they've got to push and break.
Yeah, but Shepard's inside a con, so I don't know if that Nitrocell is going to be able to get over to stop the plan. That's the final gas babe thrown out from Pasha, no more, 20 seconds, and Shepard goes for a rotate. Has anyone got the watch? I don't think so, so he might be able to get into a position where that Nitro could still have an impact drop from Pasha, trying to clear out the player below in Loban, and does so successfully. Shepard goes for the vault over. He actually might make his way in towards CCTV. There is that Nitro Cell, but the plan has gone down successfully. Joystick with a double kill, and only Dash is left now in a 1 versus 2.
Dash is so far away. He's got to try and get himself up there as quick as he can, and he just makes it and finds the kill. One more. A 1 versus 1 with 29 seconds. Shepard scratched Dash. He suffered a bit as well. Neither of them really have the cost of utility, but there is so much pressure here on Shepard because, is that within range? He's got to bait the play. He's got to bait the player, and I mean, Dash is playing this perfectly. He's sending himself out, and he sees it. Does he make it in time? I'm holding my breath.
0.7!
Damage, they know where the player is, but confirming the fight, but someone's coming up behind him as well. There's Volps, who set himself up on the main stairs, holding the pressure. Look at how W7M are moving and manipulating the space. They're still refusing to give it up because there's 30 seconds left. At this point, even just now hunting down Lobin becomes, well, we don't have time. We have to hit the site. Where do we go at this point? Pasha's above Moto Hatch. There might be some presence inside Dirt. Volps finds Pasha, so now they only have Dirt presence. They're just gonna have to send themselves through a single door.
Gave up too much map control, too much spacing. Good retake from Loban. This round's done as Shepard is the solo coming out of Dirt. He eventually loses his life. These rounds, rather conventional from here on out. You know, it's 5v3. There's 3 for Virtus Pro. All have to basically play utterly perfect and always not being able to win that battle. And we're on the verge of almost a flawless. Indeed, we do get there, and deservedly so. W7M not putting a foot wrong and punishing mistakes and errors and sloppy main stairs. They've got a lot of that backside that has still been solidified for the defense. For the VP, of course, they've only got 3 defenders that they have to deal with. Couple of flashes on the side of Shepard. I still like, honestly, W7M in this position because of the fact that Jacuzzi has not been opened up, and Dash still has a Nitro Cell.
Dan takes a lot of damage. Loban is barely clinging to life just as much, but the fact that it's still a 3 versus 3 is the main part of this. Nobody's able to get that full bite because nobody is sure that the motion isn't the one that's going to have the coverage. Escaping the flashes right back towards the bed, but it's 2. Dots and Dash are able to put themselves on it, with Dots getting the final one. W7M.
I mean, just perfect play from Dots there because you're...
Now, as it doesn't seem like they do. They're full setting up and sending themselves on towards the break. There is maybe a player watching Joystick, but Dan is caught even with the cover, and now what do? Because Dash is up there up top. There's 30 seconds. You have the track, but he's happy to sit at the top of red and sort of say, yeah, come and get me.
If Joystick does stay there, then it's a 3v3 on site. So I think you're better off just leaving Dash at this point. Top floor, push in, have a 4-on-3 on site, and get chaotic here for Virtus Pro, because there's only 20 seconds left. I mean, they need to make the push.
Well, the push is starting to come, and behind Joystick, turn around. He didn't. Dash is able to pick up the kill now, and it's the 3 versus 4, 2 versus 4, all of them on site itself. W7M, they just shut it down. Virtus Pro, too much to do, not enough time, and they'll find themselves staring down map point.
Yeah, Virtus Pro.
Self in, Volps stacked up, staring at Virtus Pro players who just have nothing but open space in front of them.
And they've done this as well without Dash. He was in gym for the last 30 seconds, only just now makes his way back in towards construction. Dode's still low over towards Rafters, but the peek is successful. Quick headshot onto Joystick, sitting under a bundle of nades though. Pasha converts the kill, giving themselves still just enough time if they can force the issue. Volps goes for the peek. Pasha's ready for it though. Takes his head clean off and makes it a 2 versus 2. Shot through the drone hole, little tag onto Loban, but they've got to now collect that kit and send it into sight and make no errors. They must be clean in the last 15 seconds.
But in the pocket of Loban, maybe the end of the round sits. A C4 ripped and ready. They've got to be aware of it. If they go for the default plant spot, they could play it from over the shoulder or underneath. They're currently pushing deeper and deeper.
Pasha,
he's going and changing place, but Loban's underneath. There it is. And as I said it has come true, unfortunately for Virtus Pro, a tightly contested map, and you could see that they were running the numbers on it as well. They just weren't sure. Waiting ready. The hard breach wall towards the top of the house stairs is still stood. Volps, however, is not. And that is the Nomad gone. They better hope the air jabs are in place because they're inside the site anyway, so anything that comes back is in towards the pressure. There's the flood all the way across. VP have to try and execute their way back from Drum, but Dots has the cover. A 2 versus 3 now. Pasha and Dan taken entirely surprised, had to try and peel themselves back from the Samurai side towards where the site is. A great read on a gap in the hold, a bit bloodier than they maybe wanted, but swinging the glass isn't quite able to net themselves the result. Up down the stairs, and it's just towards the end of it, traded out. Technically a 1 versus 1. Gonna throw the goo mine down. If Pasha can get out, they'll definitely try and play for the pickup.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to. I mean, unless Loban gets super aggressive, super aggro here and times it right, of which he starts to make his way, but the pickup for Pasha has already come through successfully. Nate's not thrown, honestly, all that correctly. Missing out on the drum, got banked off to the left side of the mezzanine. There is time, but I love this prone play for Pasha. Loban has to be wary of this. He should know full well that there are 2 players, and he should have spotted him. Prone, close right. Lovely tap with the Vendetta. Keeps it up against Dan, takes the fight, but he ended up shooting the drum. 30 seconds still time. If he wants to go back for the diffuser, he can.
Reload, retracked, replayed, no kit, but he does not want that right now. He wants to fight. He's able to find it on the other side of the dragon statue. It's a solid for either of them. There's a big chunk of health taken out of each other. Who will be the one to get that final scrape, that final bite? 10 seconds, has to push the fight. No other option at this, and it's Dan! Clutches out that round for VP.
I don't want to be too critical,
But a little bit of a swap to the other side, but with 2 goo mines in pocket, the damage will tick a bit.
Yeah, they've really played into a pretty default defense of Exhibition and Office, where you just go for the horizontal across. Dots does get one. To be fair, joystick very low. Still a lot of time. Loban's probably the issue. I mean, Dots doesn't really have the biggest ult right now.
Oh,
Get anything? No, they both fall at the exact same moment, and it is a round win confirmed for Virtus Pro. Well deserved.
that is going to be their next point of attention as they slip their way in. It's the verticality above the site itself. Now, will they try and overstay their welcome? The track is going to pull one player as Dash pulls joystick, removes them, and at this point, they're just getting out of there quickly down the black stairs. Not going to see what happens after the end of those flashes because, well, with a minute, you're not going to try and find the trade situation.
What? How was that just transpired? Poor Volps cops one in the back of the head from a teammate. They always wanted to get on the move with the shotgun. There was one up close. Shepard losing his life as Dodes and Dots both able to combine. Only one left for Virtus Pro, Dan. Well, he is the man. He was in Montreal, especially on Cafe, where he was exciting. So many clutch plays from Dan on that map. And he will need to do something similar now in this 3rd round if VP to find a 3rd round. A 1v3, but he is also getting tracked by the IDOX scanner of Dodes. Safely into barbecue goes Dots to get the diffuser on the ground, and Dash is always just covering nicely, and W7M will find themselves an attacking round on Skyscraper.
Quickie play before, or let's see if they can maybe try and cut the map in half, find their way to get some control over towards the players that are wanting to rotate from the bar side. There's Shepard getting Volp, so it's not going to be the swing on towards the side as Dan and Loban does pop in towards Shepard and gets one, but now he is all that is left. They went for plan A that I listed, which is a quick punch in towards the site and on towards the window on the back of the bees, but oh, well, there's one, but nothing much more than then. 3-1
from Dragon, and so that's a good start to the round again for Virtus Pro. 2 rounds in a row now that they've got those opening kills. They're doing well in the conversions. This is a bit sloppy and a bit messy right now on the attack from W7M. This might be one of the worst rounds we've seen from them in the series. VP are punishing W7M's sloppiness. They are getting shredded here in the 5th round. Joystick as well with 3. And only Dodes left. It will be a 4-1 lead for Virtus Pro. Comfortably taking out the primary sites. Of course, the tertiary to follow after this will be a good opportunity for W7M, but this is a very concerning round.
They've just been shut down. Entirely shut down. Entirely shut down.
Sloppy. Loban gets caught. Window looking in towards statue and just gets his head taken off. Everyone else starts to then rush around. So Dots on the floor is just the way that his movement through the doorway was just awful. Gets killed comfortably. VP are good enough, very good enough, that they will punish errors and mistakes just as much as W7M will do They don't fall well though. Double stack over towards Statue. Dan, Pasha, both low, always as well, not particularly healthy. And so this is looking like a very difficult ask now of Virtus Pro with little time. They still have to push through so many choke points. And if W7M want, there's enough time in the round now, or not enough time in the round, they can easily push back to side.
He knows he's there. They're around each other. They were 4 feet away, and Pasha pops the kill because all the attention was being driven underneath. Dan
Time.
darted his way across, but 20 seconds and it's going to have to turn into this final sprint. They're putting the pressure on and Lobin knocks them out. Wasn't the man with the kit, so it's not the biggest end of the world, but here comes the charge and the play. Shepard, he's droning the gunners in at this point. He needs to make his way in towards Terrace, but he is alone with the kit and he's got a player on the mini bar. Dan gets the control of the back end player on the A side, but it's 2 fights, too close, too much of a charge. There's the drop. He just has to sit and wait for the mini bar.
Wow, well played from Lobin. I mean, under a lot of pressure and juggled over the kit towards Always. Now, still on the exterior, still needs to make his way into the building, and they lose Pasha, taking the fight, but they still don't have that diffuser in a good position. Always is just making his way into the building now. Push up Black Stairs, unsuccessful for Dots though. 3 from Dan, and he's making good use of the Blackbeard. Finally, Always now towards Black Stairs, can make his way into the side. It's a quad though from Dan. Shepard to finish it all off, and Virtus Pro from out of nowhere steal this round away from W7M. Looking like he's going to go and maybe come back through VIP. No, he's just going up onto the roof. So, I mean, I don't know really what VP want to do right now, but they do have to down onto Dots. That is significant. That has also been finished off by Dan. No gas babes for the final 40 seconds. And just like that, despite a little bit of a stall out, we are seeing VP now make their way towards the site. ROU goes up from joystick. Dan has gone and got himself the diffuser, and they're going to go for the hit.
I mean, he's still got a bit of a distance to run. By the time he gets there, he's maybe just going to have time to get this attempted once. Back up the stairs themselves. Obviously, the gadget you can turn on and off, and they've left Pasha and Joystick keeping an overwatch so they know the position's clear, and there's the room for the hop-in, but it's sprayed across. Now he's in the room. He's got the shield on his back. It's traded back and forth. Dash is about to be caught by Always, and there it is, sneaking their way up the stairs itself, but it's a post-plant situation. Joystick takes a lot of damage, but Dan is out of there with the shield, and there goes the trade again. Dan! I think he's got 7 kills. I'm choking almost as much as the hold was there. 7 kills on the top of the Black Stairs. Just from letting them hit against him, pushing his way up, pulling down. That Blackbeard is haunting that position and that hold. Like a gauntlet. He's actually not going to try and iron mode it. The shotgun pops into the head of one, looks for the transfer onto the second. They're sort of stuck now. They're going to burn through the flash canisters. Will he try and make the dive past it as Joystick creeps his way up? Do they know about the Nook? They're about to find out. They're ready, watching and waiting. He's going to go for the swing. Can he get the first? He sees the side of it. There goes the second on the round. The pressure on towards Terrace. Holding off with a revolver dash. He wants to go for the swing as Volps gets some support. Big bits of damage. But with the grenades, where can he go? The Afterlife and map 3. Virtus Pro. What a clean growth onto Skyscraper. Dan, a bit shocked and a bit surprised, but a fantastic map for him to play. All smiles as they pull themselves a guaranteed point, and then they will pull us into a third map.
Dan with that kill, so he's been super impactful, and there's a second one too. He has been...
That's 3!
Oh my goodness. But Dan, you've got to stop. It's only round 1. You've got an entire map still to get some kills. 3 on the board for Dan. And this round's done already. I mean, what a strong defensive start for Virtus Pro here on border to be able to just clean sweep W7M's attack before it even really got going. They never really even got into that position where they could really formulate the attack that they wanted to. Virtus Pro just on the get-go. And yeah, finish it off with the ace, says Joystick, and that is a wonderful start for Virtus Pro on this decisive map of the series.
Can't even kill through the bars. Pasha is caught out, joins his other robot, Robot Heaven. And it leaves them 30 seconds to try and get themselves round and formulated.
They're offside completely right now for Virtus Pro because they're expecting W7M to want to rush in, so they can cover off all of those angles into the site. They've got so much lobby pressure. Shepard as well towards supply. No nitro cells remaining though.
They're in. They're planting. They took the hatch drop and now they're operating. Joystick inside the bathroom and rotate round to the top. There's a trade out, but it's a post plant. Shepard, he's fighting his way in towards Vent. He's holding either side of Dots, who's going to be surrounded, but there's cover from Dodas, and Dan gets Dodas. It is just Dots left who gets himself into the 1 versus 1. Dan drops. He's looking for the engagement, but Dots secures the huge play when they needed it most. We're back to that territory of trading rounds out.
Taking fights, always understanding with the shotgun up close. He's always just going to be able to find a quick kill. He does it again. 2 found in the same round from the same position. W7M not learning from their mistake prior in this round. Only mere seconds ago. 3 kills for Always. And it seems as if on the verge of a second round being found now for Virtus Pro. Don't tell me it's going to happen again.
He really wants it to, but it's Shepard that finds the back.
He's probably going to bolt it at this point because it's 5v1.
Why not? He actually threw the C4, but he was too far away. Dan does get the end of it. I love that. It's like he was aggressively fishing.
And you can allow Loban on the Nook to go for that lurk, go for that roam. And he's found 2 on it as well. A successfully well-set play from W7M in this round as Dots also gets involved. Dan is very low inside of Fountain, so the trade was always going to happen as Joystick now by himself at a 1v4. A far better round from W7 on the attack. They had a set plan, a set play, and they've executed it perfectly as a set team. Much better.
And again, coverage of the smoke. Dots is in. The shield's on his back, and he's going to try and stick a plant. They're going fast, and Shepard does get one, but this should be a confirmed post plant right underneath the window, which is going to be so tough to retake. They move their way across and keep a body balance, but it traded back and forth inside of 4 versus 2, but Always is caught out deep on the run and the rotate to get 1 kill. But as I said, it's so awkward. They're going to have to try and play themselves up. The Bees will give some of the game away. The castle on the window! Keep it in your pocket. They've got to rotate their way round and punch it. But at this point, Xenox, it's just hold on. Keep your nerve and keep the round.
Castle Barricade just won you the round. They had no answer for it. And as you said, this ends up being a bit back and forth. Border 56% defensive win rate of the tournament so far. Nice kill from Dots onto Always. Gets rid of the mute. And even though W7M's defense on this map isn't necessarily that great, I think 3-3-1/2 is going to be fine for both teams and really sets us up for hopefully a standstill finish for this series. But this is an absolute slaughter in the 6th round. W7M, they just look pissed off. They looked like they were so mad with the way that last round played out, losing it to a Castle Barricade. Talk about a swift response from W7M. Flawless.
Sort of star player of that play. What are you going to try and get your drive through? Always. The initial top-rated player.
Hello.
Find one underneath, but underneath what? He's inside the site. The rest of the players are above him, and he's going to see if he can make an opportunity. This is when the Solace should show up and do something, but nobody is close. We're suddenly in a post-plant situation, and at this point, W7M, they still have the man advantage. They can try and clear it. They have lots of time. It doesn't feel like it, but now with 1 more body gone, well, it feels pretty good. Will they be able to hold on to this? Will there be a response here? There's the shot through. Huge play there from Pasha, who gets himself out, concerned about the damage above, but Shepard has suddenly won vertical control. They're above it. They're around it. They've got to try and lock down Pasha, who's doing his best to find a fight, but he buys time. But a 1 versus 2. The vertical control is in their power. One of them's holding on to it. One of them's going for the coverage. They're spraying through. He just has to wait another 4 seconds. He can't find the angle. He's missing the player. He could not get the threaded needle. A difference of inches. Once again, trying to surmount the problem that is East, but it's Pasha. Actually, they gets caught by Dash, traded back, at least in body count, and there's Always finding Dots suddenly. That has flipped over, and there's not a kill over the gap next, so instead they're just going to pull themselves back out. Loban and Dodes, they've doubled themselves up here towards 90, with Dash not too far away, but Always, he's starting to eye up the site on the far side, making his way towards AC.
Yeah, VP get those trades because they're stacked on the same side, on this eastern side. Again, first couple of rounds on the attack from W7M, they weren't playing in that fashion. When they started to do that, that's when they started to get some results. But VP doing it from the get-go helps them out in this scenario. 4v3. Dash is just going to jump out of archives and see if he can find something, but doesn't initially. He knows there is obviously one close by. Dan on the balcony with the kit. Playing the Blackbeard, he's not going to be an easy one to shoot out anyway.
Now, the fact that Volps is gone means they don't really have any throwables to stop this. Maybe the Pocket Goyo canister will come into the play at some point. Doubt it though, I'd be surprised. Can't quite throw that, but you might be able to throw a fight. Shepard does. Caught out by Dash on the window he's been hopping in and out of, and suddenly it's an even man count. And, well, they have 47 seconds and Always is on a crouch walk towards the back end of the site, but at this point you're thinking, well, why don't you try and just eke in a bit of coverage here? Dodes gets joystick as well. A 4-2 balance now is just the two very separated Virtus.pro players. They've pieced themselves back in here. Punch a small hole and an angle, but you have to give credit to the coverage because there's another dash with a triple, and
well, they know he's top metal now. The barbed wire gives away the position. You can see Dodes inside a fountain just immediately turns his attention. The pressure just comes towards him straight away, and Dodes will finish him off, and
but everybody seems to be wanting to show up to this violent party.
Yeah, I mean, they are certainly bringing numbers over to help. Volps, of course, can drop if he really feels the pressure, but I think he wanted to stay to help Dodes, but by staying, he loses his life. Opening kill goes away. Pasha, who then gets the second. Dodes went for the swing. And that's a lovely double, and Dan to triple it down for Virtus.pro in terms of their advantage. It's been a couple of rounds of quietness from Virtus.pro, but they are noisy in this one. Flawless, great response, and certainly needed to contest up above. This is not going to be an easy round for Virtus.pro. 4v4, you haven't got top floor control. How are you going to plan into site safely? He finds a spot into workshop. So far, no response from W7M. Despite the fact that there's so many players up above, they find no way in which to be able to deny Dan the ability to get that diffuser onto the floor. Becomes a 3 versus 1 with 2 quick kills from Dan, and always Volps needs to find 2 more after that kill onto Dan. The Nitrocell desperately thrown, tries to maybe draw them out by getting onto that kid. Can he find a way to open up this wall, stick it long arm of the law? Always is watching. 2 in a row for Virtus.pro.
The angle making a lot of noise. Can joystick get this first?
Oh, Dodes has no idea. He looks away. The timing is just paramount. 3 on 2. Little bit of drone information here for Pasha. But the diffuser's in a bad spot. Unsettling time as well on the side of W7M being on the defense, and 2 Nitrocells, Emmy. That's a powerful amount of utility remaining for the defenders. Heading into the final stages of this 11th round. Huge shot from Dash, no chance for Pasha, and arguably little chance for Shepard.
They pulled themselves back to the site as soon as they got themselves into the 3 versus 2. They did not risk anything. W7M, they headed home and they said, come and find us here. Dash gets the final kill secured, 6-5.
They now can play off of that entirely. Their focus will be towards the site. Loben in Archives, the only one top floor for W7M. There's another through joystick, but Loben gets the trade. He was lurking inside of Archives the entire time. Advantage once again to W7M. Loben still from above. Shuts down Shepard, and Pasha now in that 1 versus 3 to see if he can make a moment here at SI and make it his moment. It will have to be a huge one. 25 seconds. As the ROU goes out, his chances are slim, marginal. Drop down inside a bathroom, the peak from Loben. Collects all 3 at the end to wrap it up for W7M. They've done it again. They take down Virtus.pro in 3 maps.